What's up guys, and welcome back to the infamous project. Today is going to be a little bit of an update on a couple things. The first one, the 1988 twin turbo Coyote swap notch that's sitting here behind me. Number two, want to give you an update on those blem windows from LMR and what ended up happening, because if you remember, I actually bought two sets. So one set went into the 88 Cali Coupe and the other set went into this car because, well, it just came back from paint recently and wanted to get this thing looking as mint as possible to complement that awesome Coyote swap and everything else that it's got going on. So first things first, you're probably going to notice there's some wheels and tires leaning up against the car. Well, that's because I recently just put all of the moldings back on, and we'll get into that in a minute. You're going to also talk about offsets and what I did with the ROH drift Rs, because if you've counted the amount of 19-inch drift Rs around this car, there's actually the 4 that are on it, plus 4 additional ones that are leaning up against the moldings to make sure that they didn't move while the urethane was curing. Yes, I said urethane. You guys remember in the last video, I said that LMR had reached out to me. You can notice I'm actually wearing their shirt right now. And we pretty much came to the conclusion, because I said, listen guys, both sets did in fact have loose studs. I'm going to go ahead and urethane them all back in. Everything worked. So the windows went in real nice, studs held, managed to pull the butyl tape or sandwich the butyl tape between the glass and the window, or the quarter panel, sorry, and everything worked just fine. So they said, okay, thanks for letting us know. Next time that you're gonna make an order, let us know and we'll, see what we can do. So I needed to buy a lot of parts for this car because I'm putting it back together. Everything from new molding trims to the hood to firewall liner that goes across the back there, door handles, lock actuators, a couple interior bits, door sill plates. In fact, I needed a carpet because I'm going to put a black carpet in the car. So needless to say, the order was about just shy of $1,100. I send them the list and I say, here's my order, guys. And during that week is when they still had the 6% promo on. And in the meantime, they said, you know what, we're going to send you a care package. So they sent me a care package, which included 2 t-shirts, one of them which I'm wearing right now, and some stickers. And I gotta say, I'm pretty sure this logo is crooked, so not only did I get blem windows, but I think I got a blem t-shirt. Give them the list, they had a 6% promo on that week. 2 of the items were on sale, the carpet being one of them, and I think the cup holder for the center console was another one. So needless to say, guys, I kid you not, on an almost $1,100 order, the discount was $89. $89 where there was a 6% promo code on, and 2 of the items were on sale. So in reality, there really wasn't a discount at all. Now, I got pretty frustrated, I'm not gonna lie. So what do you do when you get frustrated with a company? Well, the first thing you do is you run to the competition. And you're gonna see I have a box here, CJ Pony Parts, that's right. I went right onto their website. You know what? I found this carpet for $30 less. I found a lot of the pieces that I needed for actually less money than what LMR was charging. Plus, I got the 6% promo code that CJ Pony Parts was running because I was a first-time shopper. So I responded back to LMR and I said, listen guys, I'm really sorry. The discount that you gave really wasn't that great of a discount because I got everything that I needed for less money than your discount from CJ Pony Parts. Mind you, I might have to wait a little bit longer on shipping, but you know what? It all came in 3 days. So LMR is usually 1 to 2 days for my order, depending what time of the day I do it, but I still got the parts quick. I got them cheaper, and well, LMR reached back out to me and said, actually it was somebody else. They're like, we're so sorry. So I still need to follow up with them, and that's where things have left off. Now I am also waiting for some parts from National Parts Depot, because they're the only ones that seem to have decent headlights in stock and taillight options. A lot of you guys wonder about smoke taillight lenses. Now these ones were the complete housings made by Depot. I do not think you can get them anymore. However, you can get these just lenses. You got to reuse your old housings. NPD still sells those, and in fact they still sell the clear ones like on my white notch. So there's a little bit of info for you guys on that, and a little bit of an update. A little long-winded. Hopefully some of you guys found it interesting. Some of you guys probably stopped watching by now, but that's okay. So getting back into further updates, moldings on the car is so important. And funny enough, a guy commented on Instagram. It was just like, man, that's like one of my major pet peeves as well. And he said he was going to do a video on it. And I was just like, man, if I were to do a video on that, I'd be so frustrated and so angry, because it's like my #1 pet peeve when somebody paints their Fox and everything is perfect. Tom, you know I'm talking to you. I'm trying to be nice about it, right? You know, I know you have all the intentions of putting the moldings on your car. A lot of the aftermarket moldings suck. And I've said it before, if you have your factory door moldings on your car and they are not lifting and they are straight and they look amazing, and you're gonna get your car painted, I'd opt to leave them on the car. I would not pull them off. I would prep everything properly. I'd make sure that any grit, dirt, any of those things is not found in this groove on the top side of the molding here. So make sure to get all of this clean. But that's just my 2 cents, guys. If they're not broke, don't fix it. So I actually urethane these guys on. And you know what? It's the same urethane that I use to fix the studs on the quarter windows. This 3M window weld, super fast urethane. The stuff works really well. Very pleased with how it worked not only on the quarter window studs, but also on the moldings. Now, one thing, it's all in the prep. If you guys don't want to use urethane, some of you guys might criticize me, why in the hell would you use urethane? Well, the urethane's going to stick, they're not going to lift, they're not going to do any of that stuff, and most importantly, I prepped everything right. So, isopropyl alcohol, guys, whether you're going to use urethane or whether you're going to use a good quality 2-way tape, make sure you clean not only the body side and the paint with the alcohol, make sure you clean the back side of all the moldings as well. So that's exactly what I've done. This has sat for almost 2 days now, which is a lot longer than it needed to sit, but I wanted to make sure that these guys aren't going anywhere. So I'm about to take all the tape off here and we'll see how everything looks. Notice I got the tires resting on the moldings, which is probably a good time to talk about the tires. So if you guys remember, I had a lot of poke in the back here. You can now see we got clearance. So with the SN95 length axles, we got the perfect offset in there. So I believe that the hubs here, so these were machined down to, I want to say a 45mm offset, which accommodates, you can see the studs are now sticking out further, so these might need to get cut down or maybe paint them up black and you won't notice them as much. But that is the update there. So now we have proper fitment front and rear. I'm just gonna wheel these over here, out of the way. These taillights look awesome. So NPD actually got new license plate bulb covers, so I'll get those installed, and got new headlights coming, so we'll get those installed. I still got to do some of the trim here. This piece was fighting me, the aftermarket one, so I need to get that on. I need to rivet on these guys here. I drilled out the old rivets, so that's done, and the outside of this car is going to be looking pretty fine. So let's go ahead here, we'll pull some tape off. And you can see what I've done. I've made sure that I put pressure and I taped top and bottom, including in the jambs, to make sure that these moldings stick nice and flush and tight against the body. See, I did the same thing here. You know, I pulled that tape right around, make sure that this molding would stick. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove all this now. It's just some dirt, lots of dirt on everything. Do a big final detail. Doesn't that look a million times better than missing door moldings and making it look like your car is incomplete? So there you have it. The door moldings are stuck on. Now, if you're curious, some of the aftermarket moldings, they already come with pre-installed two-way tape on them. I actually take it off. So I pull that tape off because the other thing that the tape does is it makes them stick away from the body further than it needs to, especially depending on how thick that tape is. So I take a heat gun and slowly peel all of the tape back, clean the back side of that molding with the isopropyl alcohol, clean the body with alcohol, and then I just put a light bead of urethane all the way down along the top strip where that tape was, and all the way down along the bottom strip where the tape was, and I stick it on there and tape it on, let it sit for at least 24 hours. And well, here's the finished product. These moldings are not going to go anywhere. They're going to stay straight. They're close to the body. They look good, and there you have it. So one other thing that I need to do is I actually had a bad stud over here. So I got that all epoxied into place, and I'm just going to have to clean the threads up. So I'm going to be able to get the front bumper, the nose cone installed. You can see all the restored interior bits that are going to be going back into that car. You know, it's funny, I got the gray, this is smoke gray, armrest delete, and you can see this is the Presidio gray that I dyed the console with. Here's some brand new door sill plates, maybe very, very close, maybe like a shade off versus the Presidio. And then here's the cup holder, which is yet a different shade of gray. So needless to say, I'm going to be prepping all of these newly acquired plastic pieces out and painting them Presidio so that everything matches. All right, so it's the next day. I was doing some editing this morning of all the footage I took yesterday, and I feel like I kind of left things incomplete. Good for a cliffhanger, I guess, but you know what? When I got home, the order from NPD came in with the new smoked headlights, and I got all the LED bulbs and everything else that I want to install that are sitting right here. So I figured, you know what, let me come back to the shop today. I'm going to slam these headlights in, get the LED bulbs in, and see what everything is going to look like. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, have installed headlights before. It's nothing too crazy. And actually, I have the license plate light bulbs in here as well. At least I'm pretty sure I do. There they are. So I'm going to get these guys installed while we're at it. And these are like an LED, integrated LED bulb. So I can actually get this out of the plastic with one hand. See, they're kind of frosty looking. And the LED circuit board comes integrated in there, which is kind of neat, something a little bit different. So you just plug that in to where you normally plug in your bulb, and away you go. These were very affordable. They have a nice little spongy surface on the back, so you know you don't put too much pressure and crack the plastic housing like a lot of people do in the factory ones. And then again, here are our smoke lights. So they are the diamond clear style that are smoked. And in case you guys are looking for diamond clear lights that are clear or the smoked version, NPD has them both in stock. I ordered a set of each while I was on there. So we're gonna go ahead and get these installed. The way that I like to do it is I always start on the inside and then work my way to the corner light. Now there's gonna be some plumbing in the way here that's gonna make things challenging for that bolt down here. I might actually have to leave that one off. you can see it'll be okay by just having the one, as long as it's secured properly. Last thing I want is the stud from this light poking into the silicone for the intercooler. So might have to forego that one, unfortunately. That is turbo life. I'm sure as some of you guys are aware, the studs do thread out, and just a 13mm or half-inch socket will get you there. And now this guy has been modified to fit. I use these Bright Star turn signal lights that are in amber yellow. So when they light up, they will give you the look of a factory bulb. I'll put the link to these down in the description. So there you have it. That's what it looks like. So we'll get that installed, get this bolted in. Some grease and debris on the housing here, so just gonna go ahead and clean that up. Foam gasket that goes behind here, and I don't have one. I'm gonna have to rip it off the, I don't know if the Celine card have them or not. It does. Actually has like a nice brand new rubber. Oh, that car has hideous one-piece headlights, so those will probably end up getting smashed. So thank you, one-piece headlights, for having actually a really nice rubber gasket to seal that up. Okay, so you can see I've modified the tab here. Modified, aka removed. So now, hopefully, there we go. Perfect. So here are these For Sure LED headlights. These are 9004 bulbs and made by Farron, kind of like Fahrenheit. And I've used these, it's probably the 10th set that I'm using. I've only had one that was bad out of the box. And I jiggled the wire, it worked, and then, you know, with Amazon returns, things are pretty easy. One thing with the LED bulbs, so you're gonna have these aftermarket snap rings, which are narrower than the factory ones, which are wider, so you're gonna wanna use those. We'll take out the bulb that came with the headlight. And the interesting thing about these guys is that you twist and this comes out. And a lot of people get confused. I got confused initially with this. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I cut this bracket because I was like, how the hell do I get all this through here in order to snap everything on? Well, it wasn't until later that I figured out you could actually twist this part off. So what you end up doing is you're gonna install that piece, and then you're gonna do your snap ring, and that's gonna hold the main housing in place, and then you're gonna install the bulb. Now, the one thing that you wanna be sure about is the orientation once you lock it into place. So right now, I guess the bulb, which it's not a filament, right? But the bulb is actually sitting like this. In this housing's case, you actually want it to be vertical, up and down. So you can twist it accordingly and get it set. So now it's in the right location. So the light's gonna disperse to the left and to the right, and this will project out of the housing properly. Now, another little OCD trick that I'm going to share with you guys. I actually take this off, the rubber seal, just kind of pressure put in place. You see how this is beige or tan up here? Well, the problem with these moldings, you always see a little bit of this line. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna tape this off. I'm gonna scuff this down real quick with a purple Scotch pad, and I'm gonna hit this with some black trim paint so that way, when this molding is on and a little bit of that is exposed, you're not gonna see that color, it's all gonna look black. Hit them with the trim black, be looking nice. There we go, nice and black up top. So that way when that rubber trim is on there, don't run into any issues. Be looking nice and black and not seeing that ugly, whatever you want to call this, gray, white, beige piece. One thing that you want to do is push these tabs back in, just bend them in so that they dig back into the housing of your headlight. You want to make sure that you push the top side down as far as it'll go. So hold that top down and then clip that into place. Just pull it forward on the housing. So that way make sure that that rubber is sitting exactly where it should be. Remember how you used to be able to see a little bit of beige up top there? Now it's nice and black. The inner bulbs, I've shown you the actual headlight bulbs, and now the corners, these are Ala lighting, same thing. They're a amber LED, and they're just like a peanut bulb. Now I have, in some cases, just jammed the same, what are those? The Sirius LED peanuts that I use in my interior LED conversions. I have used those in the corners here, but especially with the smoked, I feel like having the proper amber bulbs just really makes everything pop and look that much better. Oh, whoops. Got the wrong light here. There, so everything's sitting. Gotta say, these are aligned really nice right out of the box. So there are little adjustments that we can do once they're in, and we can shine them on something at night, but I'm really liking, you can see we got our rubber seals in the right place. They're not pushed back and lost behind the housing. We don't see that strip of gray on the top. So now we just got to get our hardware and tighten everything down. Almost forgot to show you guys the license plate bulbs. So do not worry, I have a brand new trunk latch that is nice and painted and black. It's going to be getting installed, so don't even worry about this one. So you can see these guys here, plug into the factory connectors. They fit really nice. And I've gone ahead and painted up the original hardware, so they're nice and black. All right guys, GoPro yelled at me again, but there you go. They actually fit really nice. They look really good. This I'm gonna be swapping out, don't worry about that. That was actually there before. So just wanted to show you guys what the LED license plate lights look like with the, I guess, integrated or built-in LED. And I'm not gonna turn them on until the car is done. All right guys, you're gonna have to bear with me. The GoPro keeps dying because, well, it's hot in here. I really need to get myself some fans, but you guys get the idea. We got the headlights in. Now I'm moving on to this trim right here. So this is a great upgrade, especially if you guys have a Canadian car. Usually what happens is the metal on the underside of the rubber right down here starts rotting from the inside, and this all starts bubbling up. So I've drilled out the old rivets that were in here, and these new pieces actually already have their holes drilled to accommodate down in place, just like that. Line up your holes. You can see that one needs to come over just a bit. That one's good. That one's good. I'm going to try and go for the factory one. So I'm just going to take your rivets, all right, I've managed to wiggle and jiggle And I got that rivet down in the factory hole. Let's see here. And then we're just gonna keep pressure, pump, and that's it. Go for the next one here. There we go, you can see it just seated. Pump, pump, pump. Last one. There we go. There we go. Next thing that we can do is we gotta do the window channel runs. I've already done a video on that, so you guys know what that's like. And then the mirrors, still haven't painted those up. So once I get the mirrors back, then we can put this trim on and we're gonna be in pretty good shape. And I can finally wrestle that guy back on there. All right guys, camera's cooled down a little bit. I'm sure it's not gonna last, but as I've been tinkering along, I managed to get the driver's side headlights in, and now the whole front end of the car is looking really nice. And then I managed to get this trim on here up along the top of the roof line and down the A-pillar. And I wanted to share something with you guys because I feel like this is pretty important for anybody who's buying these trim pieces aftermarket. So here's one here. This has been painted in trim black. It is not, I just don't trust whatever top coat that the aftermarket companies are putting on these, so I sand them down and I paint them anyways. So the one important thing here to note is you might find yourself trying to wrestle, and I mean wrestle, these things on, and you might find that this top part of the trim right here, you know, it's flexible. It's more of a rubberized coating, and you might find it getting stuck underneath this line and you can't get it past there. So one little trick, aside from making sure that you use the clips, because the clips are very important in terms of making sure that that trim stays up there, is I'm going to show you something right now. So here's a piece of trim that's come off a car, and you can see how wide this groove is. Here's the new one. Now mind you, this is all full of stuff, so you're gonna have to kind of take my word for it. All of that butyl goo or whatever they use. You need to widen your aftermarket ones up. And if you widen that channel up, it's going to save you guys a lot of time and aggravation. So make sure you get these little clips, right? So these are the clips that hold things in place. You'll need about 3 of them. One goes here, one goes here. You can do 3 up here if you want. I usually find 2 is okay, and then 1 down here, or even 3 up here and 1 down here, whatever you guys feel and whatever you need to accomplish the task. So again, take something like this, go in the channel and stretch this channel out. And I mean, be generous. Like, you probably want to open this thing up at least 1/4 of an inch, if not even a bit more. And especially around the curvature here, where the roof line starts going down the A-pillar, down to 10% here. So again, I'm trying to hold the camera and do this. So you need to slide this guy in the back here, and you got to get your 1/4 window trim in the hole like that. And then start from the back. Now, one thing that you guys want to do is you kind of want to roll it, twist it as forward as you can to get and make sure that this molding, if this molding starts folding on you, get like a little piece of plastic and run that along, because plastic isn't going to hurt your paint. And just work your way forward from the back side here, work your way down, make sure everything is pushed up really well, and then install your screw and you'll be good to go. All right guys, so because the GoPro keeps overheating and dying on me and it is hot as hell in here, I'm gonna go ahead, just button a couple things up. I hope by adding this little bit of DIY and some headlight information with you in terms of little tips and tricks, especially that little rubber surround on the top of the headlight, plus the LED bulb choice helps you guys out, and that you guys don't blast me too hard for making the video a lot more info based than DIY based. So hopefully this has settled that and you guys have enjoyed the video. So until next time, we will see you back here on the Infamous Project.